Good morning. Oh my gosh. I don't know how to explain this to you, but I don't even know if I should explain it to you. I don't know why I'm going to explain it to you, but I got to explain it to you. I think the show is taking a turn. You know, I think about things like the Tiki Hut retreat. I think about the events that I go to. I think about all the events I've been to. And the guy I'm going to bring on, like the bomb, Obom, right? I got two nicknames for this guy. One is the bomb, Obom the bomb. Go either way. This way or that way. The other one is the big sexy. I don't know where I got it from, but when I saw this man, I thought, man, this guy has a sexy barber too. But I think he's going to be surprised when I explain to him why I called him the big sexy. And in fact, I even signed his book with a big sexy. And his wife didn't tell me anything about it. I mean, he just walks around and he's just sexy. I don't know. We don't talk like that around here, do we? I guess we do today. But today is going to be like there are more of us out there. Really? Are there really more of us out there? You know, we talked a little bit about this with Brandon Echo. What an amazing man. There's no secret that Obom and Brandon are on back-to-back because those two guys hit it off, man. There's a lot of underlying things with today's show. A lot of things going on, and I don't really know where this show's going to go. I'm going to have a man on here that's arguably one of the smartest men I've ever spoke with, spent time with. Met him randomly. But I met him in Cancun with about 8-9 other people. And it was kind of one of those aha moments again. When you go to a conference, like the Detroit Lions game, you just realize that when you're with like-minded people, there's more of us out there. There's just more of us out there, and we've got to come together. Obama's going to do that for us today. He is a master at bringing people together. He's a master at recognizing people for what they are. He is a master at making the most out of something. And I got to tell you, this morning, I always give myself a half hour. I start prepping, obviously, at 4:30, and I do a lot of it up in my studio upstairs, and then I come down to the studio down here. And man, I have no idea what happened last night. If there's a storm or something, but everything was on the fritz. My Rode mixer shot, my camera, my entire studio, my keyboard locked up. I can't get into my keyboard. I shouldn't even be telling you this. I'm a professional, damn it. But then I start to think to myself, get over yourself, right? You might be a professional, but professionals have off days too. And I think Obama's going to kind of talk to us about that. I mean, he's done, I think he told me close to 500 conferences in his life. I don't know. I might be making that number, but I know it's a lot. But I guarantee you that every one of his conferences didn't go perfect. Every one of his live shows didn't go perfectly. And I just want you to know there's more of us out there. There's more of us out there stretching ourselves. There's more of us out there wanting to make more of ourselves. There's more of us that need to see other people being vulnerable. There's more of us being willing to say, hey, you know that Todd Saylor, he's for real. You know, I think I see him on the Facebook. He acts like he's got it all together. But, you know, at the end of the day, I saw him on a show the other day, and he's a little bit goofy. He's a little bit different. But I kind of like the fact that he's transparent. I kind of like the fact that he hangs out with a guy by the name of Obom the Bomb. I kind of like the fact that he does things differently. Kind of like the fact that him and Obama and the Wire Differently crew and the Tiki Hut, the collection of people out there, just get up a little different in the morning. We're going to talk about that. Go to bed just a little different in the morning. They fight just a little different. They cry just a little different. They live just a little different. They try just a little different. They lose just a little differently. They win just a little different. They just do everything just a little bit differently. Why is it that it's me? Why do I have to be like this? Why am I challenged? Why am I so upset when things aren't right? Why is it just that way? I don't know, but it's never gonna change. I'm not alone. There's more of you out there. There's more of you out there, and that's why I need Obom. Morning, Obom.
Morning, brother. Can you hear me good now?
You are not the problem. It's me. I'm the problem. The shrinking man over here. I'm down from 230 pounds to 199 this morning, and I put some. I know, but I had to go out and buy some clothing, and I don't know if I like, the shrimpy look to me, but
it's not Popeye the Sailor Man. Right?
I'm olive oil now. I'm olive oil. Well, I got a master plan for this, though, bro. But good morning.
Good morning to you, brother. I wanted to come on and say, come on with the lighter after your intro with the Michael Jackson. You're not alone, right? I'm here with you.
Yes. You are not. Listen, that's why you're perfect for me. That's why you're perfect for so many people. And so my job is to love you. My job is to encourage you. My job is to motivate you. My job is to teach you. My job is to endorse you. I am your Barnabas. I am Apollos, right? We know the story about Apollos. Traveled around the nation, world, countryside, teaching the gospel, teaching about Jesus Christ, giving all the motion and emotion possible until he was pulled aside by some wise women, and he said, Apollos, you're really, really good. Man, we've never seen anybody quite as good as you. But we got to refine your skills a little bit. We got to refine your skills. I want to teach you just a little more about Jesus Christ. I want to teach you just a little bit more about your presentation skills. I want to teach you just a little bit more about how you're communicating. I think that they wanted to teach him the disc communication. So I am Apollos, and I also am Barnabas, the encourager, right? And so I see you, and I call you the big sexy, right? And look at this guy, man. I scrolled through all the pictures I could find of you in the Tiki Hut, and there wasn't. I tried to find a bad one. Let me see. Let me just see if I can find a bad one here. I think I looked a little bit here. Here's one right here.
The bad one.
That is the worst picture I could find of this man. He was eating clean. Here you're there with Deb. Man, I don't know. There wasn't a person in the entire Tiki Hut retreat you didn't touch.
Oh, man.
It was just great.
I tell you what, brother, I had a blast. God had an anointing on you, which transferred over to that event. And there are so many souls that got touched and got saved because you decided you were going to take your weirdness and tap into so many other people, right? And now there's almost 60 different people wired differently.
Yeah.
Certified wired differently.
They got a certificate, makes them certified. You're right.
Everyone else could be wired differently, but if they did not get certified, they don't know for sure, right? So now I know I'm for sure certified, bona fide, wired differently, right? So I thank you for that, for answering the call, answering the mission God put in your heart, man. That's the beauty of this whole space when we get that calling and we decide to answer it and walk in that direction until he says, hey, I'm done with you. Time to come home. But it ain't done yet. You're just getting warmed up. I remember you using those exact same words.
Yeah.
So as you're getting warmed up, you need a foot massage. I'm here, brother. I'm going to be your.
Okay, we can't have too much fun. Like it's fourth. He's a little bit jumpy. It's 4:30 in China. I don't know where you're at. China, Russia.
No, I'm in Mazatlan today.
Really?
Mazatlan, Mexico. Yeah. So on the west coast of Mexico, where most folks don't even know exists.
Yeah, 3 hours difference. So you had to get up at. See, you look this good at 4. Did you shave your head this morning, or did you go from last night?
That was last night, but I have to make sure I came good. So that way, if I cut it, I patched it up. I'm like, I can't look that bad on camera for Todd. It's not gonna work.
It's the worst, man. Have you ever cut yourself in the ear?
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh, dude, you bleed out bad. I mean, you can't. You have to like go get a tourniquet, and you have to like put. I don't know what you can do. Don't cut
It
yourself.
never stops. It never stops.
Well, listen, I want to talk to you a bit about being a misfit again, because Brandon did a nice job leading us into it. But I just see you as a misfit. I see you, I think I want to get real with you a little bit.
Yeah, man.
That one of the hardest things I have to deal with, and I want some coaching on this, and I don't want to offend you, but I get this too, so I want to say it to you in the most love possible.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about you when I first met you.
Mm.
And the only reason I feel comfortable saying that is because I am so solid now.
Right.
And I know that you use the word weird. We'll use wired differently. We'll use misfit. I know I get that a lot. I get that. Well, I'm not so sure about Todd. Yeah. He's out there. He's making money. He's making business deals. Every now and then I'll get this thing, here's the one that hurts the most. All he cares about is money. Another one I get is all he cares about is himself. I don't get a lot of them, but growing up and starting this movement, and certainly when I wasn't in Wired Differently and I was building all the companies and going for where I was, it seemed like the harder Obom I worked at caring about other people and amassing wins. That's what we're doing. We're gathering wins, whether it's with people, business, money, whatever you're using to keep score.
Right.
I got stuff thrown at me, and so when I met you in Cancun, I was like, this guy, he can't be for real. I mean, and so you look at you and you're like, man, but then I spend time with you, and then I think the quintessential moment was when we were in the steam room together.
Mm. That's the best way to bond.
That was the best way. We're in Cancun, and we were getting our toenails done and our fingernails done. And who does God stick me with in the whatever? The world's given us bodies, and
it was the two sexiest men in the club.
Well, that's probably what we got. Well, so I'm like, man, this guy he's so cool. Well, anyways, it was great, and I just wanted to be upfront with that. And I'm sure you may have had some feelings about me and this and that. And it wasn't bad. It was just like, man, I hope it's for real, because he's got so much knowledge. And then you just kept pouring it on, and you did it at Cancun with those 7 or 6 people there, and then you came to the Tiki Hut, and I was so impressed with the way you made the rounds with everybody, and you've touched Brandon in a way. I think that this young man is amazing, and we both got to continue to pour into him. But tell me, how do you, when I say that to you, how does it make you feel? And then how do you deal with it? Because I don't think it's a secret to you, is it?
No, it's not at all. And with you, what's crazy is, let me back up. So I was born number 13 in the line of kids, right? I'm the last of 13 kids. We were all weird. And I wanted to know what was wrong with my family. What was wrong with me? Why was everything a little so off? Professionally, I became a behaviorist, a psychiatrist, a psychologist. I studied medicine as well, trying to figure out what was wrong with my family. After all of that, studying behavior.
Hey, Obama, this is a live show. I want to help you out a little bit. Move to your left. Just right there. No, go the other way. Just one more. Cover up that light. Okay, good. Yeah, because now we can really see you well. Go ahead. Bring it.
Perfect.
Behavior.
Yeah. So I studied behavior, right? So I can understand people and understand myself, because being the last of 13 dysfunctional kids, it was 12 boys, one girl.
All dysfunctional, meaning like
no, we all had our own. So teachers on every report until I got to high school all said, Obom is a very interesting child. That was the word they used to describe me. I was very interesting. So all my life, I was like, I'm interesting.
yeah.
And you know,
I love it.
that word interesting was the word you use when you cannot describe something.
Right. Well, they spanked me. They didn't send a letter home and say he's interested. They just beat my ass with a paddle. But
there was that too. Yeah. There was lots of that. So there was lots of that.
Thank you, Jesus, for the board, baby.
There was lots of that. You know, the truth is though, when we met in Cancun, right, and we started talking, I knew, because over years I met all the people who would take advantage of you. I met people who were fake, who were phony, who was all this other craziness. And I learned to lead with the spirit. I learned to lead with my heart. I learned to lead with the truth that God was sending me for folks, right? Literally, just the day before we met, I told my wife, I'd say, because we had 4 events lined up after that one. I think we talked about it. Mm-hmm. And we were coming out to Mazatlan. And I was like, that's it. We're going to take 2 months. We're not going anywhere, not doing anything. And literally, who walks in the room, right? And I saw your spirit. I saw your heart. And I just like, all right, yeah, bro, I'm going to take a look at your stuff. I'm coming out. And I looked at my wife and said, I'm coming out. And she didn't ask and say nothing, because she knew I was in the spirit. And if I'm going to leave my family and where we plan to take a break, it's got to be for something huge. Mm. So for me, it was zero doubt, man. Zero doubt when we met, because I understood your spirit right away. Understood what you were looking to do. I understood. And here's the deal. But as you were sharing with everyone else in the audience when we're coming on, the enemy didn't want this to happen. That's why you had technical difficulties. That's why you had all this other stuff going on.
I was practically in, obviously it's not going to surprise anybody. I was practically, I don't cry over pain, but when it comes to stuff like you and motion and all the Tiki Up people and what I did, I get emotional. Everyone knows that, but I was so peed off this morning, man. I had to send you a text message like, hang on, technical difficulties. I'm off my, I literally had a backup plan. Of course, I threw up my laptop. I hope the sound's okay. Does it sound okay? Hey, real quick, what's your Millie Club? What do you call it?
The Underdog Millionaire Club.
What's a website I can take people to real quick?
They can go to underdogsmillionaireunite.com.
Underdog Millionaire Unite.com.
Correct.
.com. Okay. Underdogmillionaireunite.com. Watch this fancy stuff. Here we go. Let's see here. Boom. Did I get that right?
It's with an S. Underdog Millionaires Unite.
Okay. Keep talking while I impress people with my technology skills.
There you go. No, to be honest with you, I expected that this morning there was going to be some technical difficulties. I knew it was going to be technical difficulties, as a matter of fact, because we're dealing with airwaves, brother, right? And if we're going to get technical, get real, get spiritual for a second, right? The enemy lives in the air. He's the prince of the air. And if you're going to put 2 generals in God's army to come to do something that's going to get the rest of the planet wired differently to attack his kingdom, why would he let that happen?
He doesn't want it to happen. I mean,
he doesn't want it to happen.
No. And I think that the more prominent the events come, your events come, and that's why I want to talk to you about is like, you've done, how many events have you done?
Bro, it's a lost number. It's over 500.
Yeah, I said that
over the course of close to 20 years. My wife and I used to say we are officially event junkies, and one of the reasons for that is because I got to get into a little personal with my story. I got injured in Iraq. You know, but I guess the audience don't know. I served in the Marine Corps for 20 years.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely, brother. My pleasure. I would do it again, but as soon as I attempt to, my wife says no. Right. So I served for 20 years.
Now, man, you're doing it. You're just keep doing it. You're still serving. Preach it.
Always. I can't stop. But in that time, I got injured in Iraq. I was blown up 3 separate times. I was paralyzed from the waist down, couldn't walk, couldn't talk for 9 months. Right. It's like eventually 9 months. That's significant because I give birth to a whole new message because that's what God wanted me to do. But when I came back from Iraq, it was PTSD, suicide ideation, depression, chronic, all of them. So it's never leaving. Now, I was on 24 different pills a day, which was shutting down my liver, my kidney, my spine, my pancreas, all this other stuff. And the goal was to get off all of it. Well, with all of that stuff is depression. Amazing when the word is spoken into you, things start to change. So my pills are events, are people, are the things that lift my spirit. Right. So I could be addicted to pills or I could be addicted to growth. Right. And I choose growth. Right. You know, every month, my wife and I would end up in 3 to 4 events a year for 10 years straight. Mm-hmm. We were professional attendees. So I started getting poured into, building that foundation. So we went through the good, the bad. We went through relationship events. We went to personal growth events. We went to business events. Every week we were in an event. We end up launching our own event company and putting on over 100 of our own personally within a short amount of time. We've done relationship events. I launched a relationship business. This was the first company by accident that we generated 7 figures in a weekend, where I was running at the same time to generate 6 figures in a year. But that wasn't in my calling.
Right. Isn't it funny how God delivers like that?
He slapped the taste out of my mouth and said, like, this is where I wanted you. Right. So
pay attention.
You know, so when God slaps you, that's a big slap, because, you know, you listen to the song, he's got the whole world in his hands. That's a big hands. You get slapped by God, you got to repeat until you get the clue. Right. And I say, you know, his formula is like shampoo: rinse, wash, repeat. If you don't get it, he's gonna keep there, firm and steady. Firm and steady. Just go get it, my child. I know you're a little hard-headed, Obama. I know you're a little different. Your wires are a little cross. Yeah. Go find the other Todds in the world. Go find those other weirdos. Y'all hang out together.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a privilege to be called a weirdo by you. And there's a lot of us out there. There are more of us out there, right? And I think that when we talk about Wired Differently, Obom, and obviously your underdog, millionairesunite.com, go to that. Check out my friend. He's spectacular. He's giving of himself. There's something from him. There's something from me. I know we have our followers, and I'm just professionally asking you if we can unite ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
I think we're stronger together, and I want to help support your group, and I want you to understand that one day I want to fill that stadium at the IMG Academy with thousands of people wearing Wired Differently shirts. You know, and the nice thing about Wired Differently, Obama, is that it's not Todd Saylor. It's Wired Differently. It's a brand on its own. Someday it's going to move beyond me. Everything I build is beyond me. And they're not wearing shirts that say Obama or Todd Saylor. They're saying Wired Differently or Underdogs, right? And when I heard Underdog, I'm stealing your stuff. I'm flat out. I'm ripping I'm stealing you blind. I love Underdog. I used to watch Underdog when I was a little boy, and I'd say, Underdog. You know, I get happy when I see you, and I think of Underdog, and I don't know what was Polly Purebred, or I don't know what her name was, but
I think it's Polly Purebred.
Polly Purebred. He was saving her, and you know, but I really, you know, I just want to ask you publicly, you know, some people won't go on live. They just won't. Right. It's like they won't go on live. And I'm like, well, I'm going live because I don't want the opportunity to be fake. And and someone like you who is well seen, I was reading about becoming famous this morning, being significant, and you are significant. You are known. You are famous. And for you to come on and trust me not to ask you like a curveball live, might have felt like it in the beginning, but it wasn't. It was all in love, and I think that trust that I've given you and you've given me is a remarkable thing.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. You use the word that's very powerful, significant. There's a difference between like success and significant. In one of my books, my staple book, which is what I use as the foundation of everything else, the last chapter is called Becoming Significance, right? It explains that once you become successful and help others become successful, that's when you're stepping into the realm of significance. But once you taste significance, success no longer cuts it. So we've got that level of personal success, the things that we wanted, the things that we seek, the person we wanted to become, and now in service, right? It's that service to many leads to greatness. We're focused on that greatness piece. It's like society always apologizes after they have made the mistakes in the significant one's life. Like, for example, let's start from the top down.
You want to say hi to this guy real quick?
Oh, listen, Harold, I'll make sure I don't want to mess anything up before we get the digital police to pull us over and be like, oh, it's a spanking. He's wired completely differently, right?
All right, finish. I just knew he wanted to say.
That's my dude right there. Oh, man. But it's Latane. What's up? See, now the good distractions are coming. But anyways,
I know.
All these amazing wired differently folks.
He'll take you off course, and we'll be deep into some amazing stuff from her. Keep going. Preach it. I
but
want to give my people
when we look at it, it is that significance. Jesus was the first one. We beat him. We poked him. We gave him vinegar to drink, drank a spirit to him, hang him on the cross, and they're like, oh, we're sorry. Too late. Right? It's the same thing. We tried with Gandhi, King, all the great ones. Greatness is painful.
Yeah.
And when we understand that it is painful, we have to embrace that pain. If we don't embrace the pain, you're going to repeat the process anyways, over and 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 over again, until we understand it. And then we're like, oh, this is accepted.
Yeah.
This is the part we need to understand. This is the part we need to master. This is the part we need to embrace.
Yeah. And I want to thank you for doing that with me and so many people on a regular basis. We got a couple minutes here. We're not under a big timeline. I'd like to do it in a half hour, but I could go an hour with you. I really want to double down on this idea. How do you deal? Because we're inviting people, I started and obviously let's do a part 2 and 3 and let's just do live. Hey, will you be my friend?
Absolutely.
Can I call you my friend?
You and I are friends.
Remember the story about Nick and Linda?
You and I are friends. Publicly, here we are.
Yeah, publicly we're outing ourselves. So I think what I want people to understand is it's a badge to be persecuted. That's a tie-in I want to do with you right there. It's a badge to be persecuted. Jesus was persecuted. The followers were persecuted. Christians are being persecuted every day right now. We're being persecuted because we're not afraid to say something like this is what we believe in, right? Exactly. We are. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, when I first saw you, I don't know if I persecuted you, but I wasn't sure. I was, and then of course I've become, we're going to be besties. And then I think you look at me and you're like, thank you for the kind attraction. But you still you're guarded because of all the things that we've went through, and we have been kicked, we have been pushed, and we have been maligned, and we have been persecuted. I have had rumors about me that are just they're cutting, they hurt, it's just life. After 58 years, you don't get through it unscathed if you want to become significant.
Yeah.
You can't, the gate is narrow, baby. Right? You don't think people were talking crap about Jesus?
All the time.
Man, they put him on a cross and they just did awful things to that man. Awful. Of which drinking vinegar is probably the mildest. Mm-hmm. And so what I wanted to just kind of hear, what Tell these people, tell them it's a badge. Tell them why when you come a part of Wired Differently, when you come be part of the Millie Club and the things that we're doing to spread our fervor for becoming personally better, spiritually better, and profitably. It's not wrong to want to be profitable in God's kingdom going that way. It's not wrong. And the persecution is going to come. Just give us some uplifting stuff on that and we'll take this thing out.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. It's completely not wrong at all. In fact, the Bible says it in John 10:10. I am come to give you life so that you live it abundantly. It's not about barely getting by. It is about the abundance. It is about the fervor. It is about the greatness. It is about the power of God in your life that resonates. And in order to live that life abundantly, you cannot do it with pennies. You necessarily need dollars, millions of them, so that you can not only just live a great life, but you can help those who haven't had the opportunity to do so yet and lead the path. The light at the end of the tunnel is someone who got the arrows in their back carrying that torch, right? The pioneers didn't just get there. They were the ones chopping down the bush in front of them, taking all the stakes. So they got to do it through the way for everyone else. And when you understand that, you got to be weird, that you got to be wired differently to take other people through that space, then you're tapping into that very essence of everything that's needed to get done. I started to talk about it in the beginning, but what you're doing, Todd, is knocking at the door of the enemy because he controlled the waves. And there's 5 versions of that. There's the airwaves, which you were tapping into. So his little minions are like, nope, not going to happen. There's radio waves. There's televisual waves, which is what we're doing right now. That's attacking the very kingdom that he has, because the 4th wave is brain waves. You're looking to influence people's brain waves and help them to be wired differently. Then there are the gamma rays, which are the rays that the sun produces. The dude don't want you to influence those first 4. Because if you do, you penetrate and you get to more people, because it's all about winning souls. And if you're winning souls for the kingdom, that means he's losing, and he don't want that. So you got 2 generals come together. The dude's like, no, mess up all his stuff this morning. And that's what folks have to understand. So I expected that. I knew it was coming, because you are knocking at the enemy's door and he is not going to let you in.
Thank you, Obom. You know, you're the first person I've ever had close out for me. And I just want to encourage every one of you, get to Obom's site. I want people to know that this is a big deal. This is a time for you to change. This is a time for you to think about, you know, am I being persecuted? If I am not being judged, if I'm not being persecuted, if I am not having, you know, Harold made it very clear to me that he's not dealing with racism on a regular basis. He's dealing with prejudice. And so I want you people out there to understand that if you are not feeling a little bit of uncomfortableness, if you're not feeling a little bent, a little broken, a little persecuted, a little tired, a little picked on, then you're probably not wired differently. I want you in that space of uncomfortable. I want you to be doing things differently, because I love you that much. God bless you guys. God bless you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you, Obama, for everything you're doing. We'll see you soon. Tell your beautiful wife and your daughter Miracle to stay wired differently.
Absolutely. They are complete weirdos.
Have a great day, everybody. Let's get it on like Donkey Kong.